right, we will go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our Demand Response Program Options webinar. We have just over 100 attendees. That is great. Really appreciate you all making the time to learn more about this. And FYI, this presentation will be recorded, and the recording as well as the slides will be shared out as a resource over email to anyone who registered for this webinar. We'll also post it on a public site so it can be available for other contractors who may not have been able to make it. So, tech customers have to enroll in a demand response program as a condition of receiving their heat pump water heater incentive. And we're going to spend the next hour talking about what demand response is, why it's important, how it benefits your customers. And most importantly, you'll be hearing from a variety of demand response program providers today about the programs that you and your customers can choose from. So we actually have 10 different demand response program providers here today. Really grateful for them all to provide this opportunity. Okay, first let's talk about what demand response is and why it's a requirement. So what is demand response? Demand response programs reward customers for making small changes in their energy usage. Most often, this is to decrease their electricity usage during evening peak hours. And why do we have this requirement? Heat pump water heaters can act like a thermal battery with their large tanks of hot water and shift electricity usage from the evening to the other times of the day when electricity is cleaner and less expensive, and customers still have hot water when they need it. This special capability is why our incentives are so high this time around. And the state of California, which is providing this incentive funding, is requiring demand response enrollment to help ensure that as we add additional new electric appliances to the grid as they're installed, customers can reduce their electricity consumption during certain times when the electric grid is most strained due to high demand or potential grid emergencies. Demand response programs call on participants to make slight shifts to when they use electricity to reduce their demand during peak hours or other times that the grid might need some help, for example, on really hot days or during other extreme weather events. Many programs, demand response programs, use the term demand response events, or just events, to describe these windows of time when customers are called upon to reduce their electricity usage. You'll hear some of our presenters today talk about their program's events, so now you'll know what that means. And it's important to recognize that customers also benefit from demand response enrollment. By participating, they may reduce their electricity usage during peak hours, so they avoid paying the highest costs for electricity when they're on a time of use rate. Plus, depending on the program that they choose, they could earn an enrollment bonus or potentially also additional rewards or incentives for ongoing participation in the program. And at the same time, customers are also contributing to a cleaner, healthier, and more resilient energy system. Quick details on what's being asked of customers and contractors for this new demand response program. First, this requirement applies to all project types. However, for multifamily projects, the tenants are not required to enroll. Instead, the building owner needs to enroll the common area account. We recognize it could be difficult to get, every single tenant to do this. So instead, it's just a recommendation for tenants. Customers will need to agree to this demand response requirement by checking a box on the TECH program terms and conditions, which they need to sign. The terms and conditions contain a link and a QR code, which bring customers to the website that you see a preview of here to learn more about demand response, including some frequently asked questions and all of their program enrollment options. Customers will have the opportunity to enroll in any qualifying demand response program of their choice. There are quite a few options, and enrollment can take as little as 3 minutes. If the customer does not have an eligible demand response program in their area listed on our program website, then the enrollment requirement does not apply to them. So this would be in some publicly owned electric utilities or electric munis. Contractors are encouraged to familiarize themselves with the program options, and you're doing great being on this webinar. And we're inviting you to call out any option or options that you think would be the best for your customers. It will likely be helpful for your customers to have some help in narrowing down their options. But again, these websites list all of the options so customers can see every option available to them. We'll also have a flyer about all of this for you to provide to your customers. Like I mentioned, there are all sorts of demand response programs to meet this requirement. Currently, there are program options for customers of PG&E, Southern California Edison SCE, SDG&E, and SMUD, Sacramento Municipal Utility District. Customers and contractors will find these full lists on our demand response program website. Here's a preview of these tables, just a small snapshot of the options and information available. Some programs will text or email customers or send them app notifications to reduce electricity usage. These programs are sometimes called whole home or behavioral programs because it's up to the customer to choose how they lower their electricity usage and actively make those changes during an event. Some programs will actually connect to the water heater or to another technology such as a smart thermostat, and then communicate automatically with that equipment so customers don't have to actively do anything to save energy. Even when appliances are connected, though, the customer always has the option to adjust their equipment settings or opt out of the demand response event. For now, customers are not required to enroll specifically in a demand response program that connects to the water heater, though this could change in the future based on state regulations. However, if a connected heat pump water heater demand response program is available in the customer's area, that can be a great way to further optimize and increase the benefits that they get from their new water heater. Okay, it's almost time to hear from our demand response program providers. Reminder to everyone to please put your questions in the Q&A feature. And for our program providers on the call today, reminder to please monitor that Q&A after your presentation to see if any questions came up for you. This is the order we'll be going in, starting with all of the programs that are available in multiple areas. All of the options in that category, except for the last one, are actually available to customers of all three of the utilities between PG&E, SCE, and SDG&E. You'll notice that SMUD programs aren't listed here, Sacramento, since there is no overlap between the programs available to SMUD customers and other customers. We'll actually be hosting a separate webinar about the SMUD demand response programs. So be on the lookout for an email about that in the next month or so. Please note that if the customer tries to enroll in any of the programs listed on these slides and gets a notice that they're already enrolled in a demand response program and therefore unable to complete their enrollment, that means they've already met the requirement. They're already in a qualifying demand response program and no further action is needed. Okay, a reminder to our providers to please keep it to 5 minutes or shorter. There are 10 of you, and any slides that you're able to cover very quickly or skip over can just be used as a resource when we share these slides out later. Okay, I will now invite our first presenter, Leah from OhmConnect, to go ahead. Leah, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I will click through your slides for you.
Thank you. All right, so happy to share OhmConnect with all of you. I'll try to go through quickly. So OhmConnect is a free service that pays users to reduce energy when it's most needed. Unlike most programs, we operate about 1 or 2 times a week, full year round. So it's really about getting customers used to reducing energy on a consistent basis. How this works is energy demand spikes. We know that because we're interacting with the market. So that's when we tell our members to reduce energy. We get paid for the energy use. And then OhmConnect pays our network of members based on how much they reduce their energy. So we don't get any tax money to run this program, is basically what that's saying. So who can enroll? Anyone in any of the 3 IOUs. That is the only requirement. There's no participation minimum. There's no technology requirement. We take renters, homeowners. You can be in solar. So really any one of your customers, as long as they're in the 3 IOUs, qualifies. but this is a residential program. So for that customer experience, what we'll do is let customers know via text or email when it's time to reduce energy. They have the option to connect devices. It's not required. And what's really great is we are in the middle of an integration with Rheem, RUD, EcoNet. So those will be available for customers to connect their device by the end of the year. And then we have a whole gamified platform. So based on how much energy they reduce, they earn watts. They can cash them in for games, for points, for raffles. They can get cash and gift cards as well. So lots of things they can do with that platform. It's a really engaging experience. Next slide, please. So to make this very easy for you all, we have a referral platform. If you do the QR code on the link provided on the screen, also this deck will be sent out, so you can just click that button later as well. But I highly encourage all of you right now to just take a screen or use the QR code, use your work email to create a password. That's really important. The referral experience is different than our regular customer experience, and that helps you get into the right platform. So you use your work email to do that. And on the next slide, signing up takes literally 30 seconds. It's very easy. And I'll show you what this platform helps you do this process. So it's really just a single screen for you. What happens is you can, if you see the buttons available on the left hand of your screen, you can share via text message. There's a QR code there, the button for sharing a PDF flyer. You can print a flyer and hand that out as well. You can send text, emails, you can change what the message says. So if you've ever used any sort of platform that has a referral function, it's very similar. It works just like that. And then once you get those, if we can go back, once you get those referrals coming in, what's really great is you can see those show up in your system. And so on the right side of the screen, you'll see the date you invited them, and then who it is. You can resend, re-invite them, and see the status of who you've been referring. And one of the big perks is that we are giving $50 for each of you plumbers out there referring your customers to OhmConnect. If they successfully connect their utility account to OhmConnect, you get $50. So awesome platform right here. Okay, now next slide. Sorry, I have just click 3 times, I think. 1, 2, one more. Great. So here's our quick pitch talking points. I recommend just taking a screenshot of this so you know what to really say on the spot in 30 seconds, but just tell them it's a free program. We see that our customers reduce their energy bill 10% when using our program because we engage them so frequently in energy savings. It's beyond just demand response, and it's fun and gamified, and people have a great time. Plus, they reduce their utility bill, so there's really no downside on that. And then, of course, if you connect your devices, you can earn rewards automatically. And of course, this is how you can get your tech rebate. For the customer, signing up only takes 2 minutes. They put in their name, email, address, connect their utility account, and they're good to go. And then we have additional resources for you that could be shared later on, quick FAQs and what the experience looks like. So this will all be in the deck later for you to reference for that customer and get to know the experience a little bit better.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Leah. Great overview of the OhmConnect program option. And next up, we will hear from Stacy at Voltus.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hi.
Awesome. Good morning. So my name is Stacy. I am a senior director here in California. I'm with Voltus. We are a leading provider in demand response programs across the Americas and Ontario. We also offer an energy management solution that we call VoltApp, which is on the right here. And we work with commercial and industrial customers to reduce their electricity cost and contribute to a more reliable grid. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is a particular program that we just announced in September 1st of this year. It's a new offering. One of the great things about Voltus is we have several partnerships. We work as an aggregator with the utilities, and we partner with the California Utilities Commission as well as the CPUC. And that this program is a public program, and it starts May of 2024. And it only runs May through October, which is a great program for large energy users that have a lot of load in the summer times. I mean, obviously, we know in California it gets very hot. And this program is only for 1 hour a month. And as we all know, we like our air conditioning, and a lot of times with set point adjustments, we can coast through that 1 hour without having any type of disruption or unhappy people. And so this program also runs between 4 and 10 p.m., and which is where our highest demand is in California, where you would also have the most expensive energy as well. And so these monthly 1 hour events, you have a 7-day courtesy reminder from our energy markets team that you would get notified. And then for any emergencies where there's a stress on the grid, you would have 24-hour notice of this event. Now, there's no penalties or cost to our programs. The only risk would be if you decided not to participate that month, that you would not get paid. So this is a monthly opt-in, opt-out program, no cost. And as I mentioned, VoltApp is our software that we use to help our customers be extremely successful in the program. Obviously, our strategy DR is not always the most exciting thing for our customers. So we like to, use our energy markets team and our team behind me to help our customers be successful so that they can make as much money as possible. And you can kind of see on the right here, there was a little bit of a video, but I can send this off as well. And you get a text message from our team. You can see our 30-second interval data here, and then there would be a drop when the event starts, and that kind of gives you a better idea and bird's eye view into your energy usage. The goal is for you to manage your energy better than you started out with, and then at the end of the day might not need us after a few years. So thank you so much, and that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Stacy. And apologies, that video was working until this morning.
It's okay, not a problem.
Great. Well, yeah, great program option for commercial customers. And next up, we will hear from Robert at CPower.
Yes, hi, everybody. Thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate it. My name is Robert Nielsen. I'm a California account executive for CPower. And we are like the other folks before me. We're a demand response company, and was going to talk a little bit about the capacity bidding program under the 3 major utilities here in California. If you could, yeah, there you go. Thank you. So a little bit about us. We've been around for a while. We have a very large national customer base. We actually have 17,000 customer sites, and we're working in every market available here in the United States and a little bit in Canada. So we've been around for a while. We've been helping clients, whether like we're here with the heat pumps or going all the way up to large industrials, and participate in these programs to save, to save our grid, and also to take the money allotted and make sure our end users are getting paid for their efforts. So again, we've been around for a while, and definitely we're very strong here in California. Okay, next slide. So here's just a little bit about us. A little bit of a commercial, I suppose, but really what we're trying to do is get the word out there that these programs exist and find the right customers that are able to participate. And obviously our goal is that whenever there's an event, that everybody in our portfolio takes advantage. And so we definitely pride ourselves on that relationship we have to make sure that, that happens and that the grid is stabilized. I can go to the next slide. So I think we've talked a little bit about this. I don't want to take up too much time here, but really the whole goal and the whole point is, if in the middle of summer when it's 110 degrees in Southern California, there's a lot of strain on that grid, and we're trying to avoid outages. You know, there are a lot of critical facilities well, throughout the state. And so one of our goals is to make sure that we do everything we can to keep the power on and keep outages from, you know, weather events or fires or any of those types of things, to help the utilities, basically help the utilities help ourselves. So as a Californian, you know, I don't want the power to go out on my house when it's 110 degrees and I want the air conditioner. But really, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to work with, you know, between the utilities and the end users to make sure that A, that everybody knows about the programs that are out there, and B, truly try to keep the grid as operational as we can. Okay, the next slide. So, you know, I think we've covered this as well. So, you know, essentially there's an event, we will call, email, text, whatever is decided, to make sure that the end user knows, okay, in an hour it's going to go off and you need to lower your usage. Or, and I'll get to the next slide, it'll kind of talk about the different timing and programs for each of the utilities. But ultimately, the big picture, that's what we're going to do. We're going to notify the end user, and you know, the goal is that they will reduce and take advantage of this program, and then get paid for helping out. So you can go to the next. Yeah, and I think we can cover, with the time we have, this is more of a reference point. So you know, please take a look at it. But this is what I wanted to talk about here. For the capacity bidding program, you know, each utility kind of has their own, you know, their own variation of the programs. And for example, if you look at PG&E, they're day ahead. So what that means is they know, or they forecast that there's going to be a problem, and so they'll let you know the day before and give you, you know, notice so that you can adjust, or, you know, in some circumstances, it would be like lowering your HVAC or shutting off your HVAC for a while. But you know, this is, I guess the way to put it is, these are all the different requirements. Where like PG&E, you know, it's 1 to 9 p.m. on just weekdays. SCE, a little shorter, 3 to 9 on weekdays, and then again SDG&E 1 to 9. That means that's when you would have to shut down or lower your usage, depending on what program you're on. And the other part is important too, is how long during that time period are you going to be without? Again, PG&E is 1 to 4 hours, SCE 1 to 6, SDG&E 2 to 4. But I found a general rule of thumb. The one thing to know is, if it says 1 to 4, I would err toward probably more like 2 to 4. You know, always err toward the more. You know, these don't have, or except for SDG&E, there's no minimum. You can do whatever you can do to help out would be what they would expect. And while I still have a few minutes, the biggest thing is to look at the events. So we have five events a year in PG&E, somewhere between May and October, that you could be called up to 5 times. In SCE, between January and December. So all year, 5 events, 30 hours. And then for SDG&E, it's just 24 hours a year, what they could ask you not to use power for. So ultimately, that's kind of the overview of the 3 programs that we're working on. And you know, again, I appreciate you guys joining and hearing me out. And thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Robert. And I might have missed it. Can you confirm that this is specifically for commercial participants?
It could be commercial or industrial.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Robert. And then next up, we have Emily with EnerSponse.
Hey guys, good morning. So my name is Emily Osuna. I am the West Coast Sales Director here at EnerSponse. I'll be taking you guys through the DRAM program. So this is the Demand Response Auction Mechanism program. Emily, if you could go on. So how it works is going to be really similar to everybody else who's spoken about the demand response programs. Essentially, your utility announces a demand response event. EnerSponse is going to securely signal energy reduction, and then your buildings are either going to do manually or automatically reduce energy usage at your sites. So you have an option, again, manually or automatically. So the manual option would require EnerSponse to send notice via text message and email on a day-ahead basis. And then the automatic dispatch would be us sending a signal down to your energy management system. So these pre-configured load shedding strategies would take place on their own. So realistically, you wouldn't even have to lift a finger to participate. And at the bottom, real fast. It's demand response payments. So there's ongoing capacity and energy payments made by the utility or aggregators to end use customers for their participation in an auto or manual demand response program. So all of these programs pay you. You never pay EnerSponse, not even a dime. So please excuse the first line. So we do offer DRAM in PGE, Southern California Edison, and SDG&E, so San Diego Gas and Electric. But the program parameters are going to be Monday through Friday, so no weekends, no holidays between 4 and 9 p.m. The season is active year-round. There's rolling enrollment. So what this means is you can jump in and out of the program month over month. And then with that being said, you can also adjust your nomination. So your nomination is your commitment of a kilowatt reduction into the program on a monthly basis. We guarantee a day-ahead notice. These demand response auction mechanism events typically last about 2 hours, and we see between 6 and 10 events per year. So with EnerSponse, there's never any fees, never any cost to enroll, no equipment installation required, nada. So we keep it really easy and make stand-up and enrollment simple. That's my goal, is to make it real simple. And then ways to participate, again, curtailment. So just reducing energy, really similar to all the other demand response programs you've heard today. And these events are actually going to be triggered by market prices. So the cost per megawatt, right? And then the baseline is going to be a 10 and 10. So what that means is we'd be comparing your usage during the demand response window to your usage between that same window, example 4 to 6 p.m. over the previous 10 business days. So no weekends, no holidays, and excluding any other event day that may have occurred with a day of adjustment. So that's the parameters there. Emily, if you could go on. There's me. So the next steps for enrollment. So if you were able to send over a site list and or a bill copy, what we would do with that is give you 2 options. You can either fill out a scissor form, which is an information release form, or we can get you set up to authorize data sharing via a green button. From there, we would do a usage analysis of the customer's usage over the previous 24 months and propose nominations and incentives. And then if you guys like the color of the check, we would go from there. Thanks, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Emily. So just as a recap for everyone, the first program you heard from OhmConnect from Leah, that is primarily a residential option. And the next 3 programs you heard about were commercial and industrial options. And now we're going to hear from Farseed at GridPoint. GridPoint offers options for residential and commercial customers. So just to kind of reorient us to that context of who these programs are for. So Farseed, the stage is yours.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Marcia Degnan and I'm with GridPoint. I do want to clarify.
So sorry.
We actually, no, it's okay. No, that's not what I wanted to clarify. Actually, it was more that we offer an energy management and optimization system for multi-site retailers, restaurants, and businesses. We are also commercial only.
I mixed that up. The presentation after you is both. So apologies. Thank you so much for clarifying.
No worries. If you want to go ahead and jump to the next slide, I'll get started though. So a couple things that make us different, we wanted to highlight. The first is energy savings. With GridPoint, we do offer an automated demand response solution for businesses. The energy savings with GridPoint, your business doesn't just save energy, we help open up new revenue streams through the utilities incentives and while also reducing peak demand charges. We offer a very easy participation. Our company, we actually provide the enrollment. We find the right utility programs for our customers. We help with the enrollment services, we do the event participation, any of the reporting and payment verification. Our goal for our customers is to make it as simple and hands-off as possible. Performance validation. Participating sites, they're monitored in real time to ensure that there are no performance risks, and our participants can opt out of participation as needed. We have a very minimal impact to site comfort. We understand how crucial customer and employee comfort is, and our approach ensures minimal impact to operations and prioritizes everybody's comfort. Kind of rolling, oh, sorry, one more. Rolling right into that is our customized curtailment. And this is a huge differentiator for us, is that we work with our customers to ensure that they have a customized curtailment strategy. One example I can give you is we worked with a national movie theater chain. They wanted to make sure that no sites participated in DR events during big blockbuster kickoff times and movie times, and so we were able to work with them to make sure that they opted out of any events during those times. Okay, you can move on to the next. This is just kind of an overview. I think a lot of people understand this, benefits of an automated demand response platform. Really it's the revenue earning. You're able to open up a new revenue stream by doing this for your business. Very low site impact, the opt-out options, and of course, grid stability. You're offering, you're really supporting the grid and your local community when you enroll in these programs. So there are quite a few barriers, I believe, when it comes to enrolling in DR, and we really work with our customers to overcome those barriers. Anything ranging from technical complexities to regulatory hurdles or operational coordination challenges. These obstacles underscore the diverse and substantial challenges faced by our potential participants in the demand response market. And we, like I said, we really try to work with them through tailored curtailment process, or just really taking, again, the brunt of the hard work and signing up for these programs with our customers. All right, last slide I've got is, or second to last, is this is an example of just real life results that we've had. We had a program in California that was able to, they enrolled 78 of their 100 sites. 78 were eligible for their demand response programs. We had an estimated 225,000 savings across those sites in demand response participation, plus 146K in estimated for the market access participation for 2-year market access. And then on top of that, just 88,000 in estimated energy reduction savings, gave them a total savings of 459,000 across their 78 sites. So pretty good numbers there. Any more information, please feel free to visit our website, gridpoint.com/demand-response. You can sign up for there, just get any more information about our demand response programs and how to enroll. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Marcia. Okay, next up, we now have Farseed with Autogrid.
Hey guys, Farseed, I'm managing our programs in California and in the US generally. And just go to the next slide. I have a couple of points about Autogrid. We've been around since 2011 and we work in 12 countries. And right now we have 8,000 megawatts of resources globally that we're managing. Very, very large operation, many places. And we are a subsidiary of Schneider Electric. And Schneider is at least in half of the homes in the panels, and more things is coming. They acquired Autogrid a year or so ago, but we are still working as Autogrid. Next slide, I just have 2 slides. So this is the other one. We basically have residential and commercial. And almost all of them are automated. Most people don't want to get text messages all the time. So unless you have enrolling without a smart device, you will not get any text messages from us or anything. So we go down the list of these columns. In the PG&E territory, we are offering somewhere between $20 to $200, depending on what smart device you enroll with us. It will be automatically managed outside from us. User doesn't have to do anything. We do the smart thermostats, Nest and Sensi, car chargers. We have charge point and wall box. People can sign up without any devices. We can also deal with EVs, list them there, Teslas, Kias, Hyundais, all of them. You get $200 for each one of those. And then the hot water, heat pump hot waters, we can do, water heaters, sorry, we can do in the commercial sites. And that's been running. There's a referral program for this. Every person you refer to us, there's also $10. You just sign up at that link up there. In Southern California, we are working with Clean Power Alliance. That's all of LA County and Ventura County. There's a link for that program. They also give a cash reward, $20 to $100. Smart thermostats, Nest, Ecobee, and Sensei, car chargers or charge point. There's also enrollment without any smart devices. Those people get paid to sign up, and they get paid by how much they save in energy. Usually, there's good dollars, $2 for every kilowatt hour they save. We're adding EVs here very soon, and heat pump water heaters. We're going to add them into multifamily housing very soon. And then we have Sonoma Clean Power in the Sonoma and Mendocino counties. We're going to put this into CAISO next year, but right now it's running with the devices that you see. And there's also, it's only for residential, but they do have a very big water heater program currently running. And I think many of you may be familiar with it, but it's a very successful program, lots of incentives for that. And next year we're going to go into Southern California. Edison is going to be the same as PG&E. We will add all the same devices, and it will be the same payments and same referral program. So any questions, you can call that number. There will be a live person responding if you call from 9 to 5, or you can send that email to FlexSaver@autogrid.com. And we're looking forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Farshid. All right, so that wraps up our segment for programs that are available in multiple areas. And now we'll go through the programs available specifically to customers of one of the main electric utilities. And we'll start with PG&E. So Aaron, take it away, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, great. I think we can advance to the next slide. Great, yeah. So I'm Aaron Kendall. I'm the program manager for the SmartAC Switch program. Currently, our SmartAC Switch program is the only authorized DR program in the CAISO market that will be in the CAISO market in 2024 as well. So I'll talk about some potential changes at the end of the slides. But so the SmartAC Switch program, a little overview. The program season is May 1st through October 31st. Event duration typically is 2 to 3 hours. If there's emergencies, then customers can be cycled for 6 hours a day. What happens is the device gets installed by our contractor, Franklin Energy, on the residential customer's AC unit. Another comment here is that if they have any other questions or comments, they could always call our call center at 866-908-4916. Customers have the option to opt out of as many events as they like. Again, they could opt out on the day of the event by calling that call center. During the installation, Franklin Energy will perform an AC checkup. And if there's also any issues that arise after the installation, customers can call the call center for free troubleshooting, and we can send a technician if there is something wrong with the device, of course. Customers will receive a $50 mailed check after the installation is complete. And something else that's important and valuable to customers is that this program helps us stay green. You know, we'll reduce the need for high carbon producing peaker plants if there's high energy demand, and it can also, of course, prevent blackouts when the energy system is constrained. So you can go ahead and move on. Some of the eligibility requirements, customer must be a residential electric customer. They can also be at a CCA. They have to have and use an air conditioning unit during the summer. We run a AC propensity model to make sure that customers are using AC during the summer to make sure that they're a good fit for the program. And they also have to have a smart meter. Our devices connect directly to the smart meter so that we communicate these events to the devices over the AMI network. They can't be enrolled in another DR program, such as Smart Rate, OhmConnect, PowerSaver Rewards. There's many others, but they can only be in one program at one time, one DR program. They can't be enrolled in medical baseline or life support, and they can't have dual stage or multi-stage air conditioning units because those are more efficient than what our switches already provide. So they're doing more than what the typical AC unit is doing. So we can go ahead and move on to the last slide here. So if customers are interested in enrolling, they can go to our website, www.pge.com/SAC switch. They can find out more information about the program, read some FAQs, and of course, enroll. If they don't want to go to the website, then they can still call our call center at 866-908-4916, and that call center can answer any questions that they have and complete that enrollment for the customer. One little note is that if a customer is renting, the property owner would have to complete a property owner authorization form. And if the property owner is the account holder, that incentive payment would actually go to the property owner if they're, the account holder of the home. So that would be another caveat to let customers know. I'll say one final note that the SmartAC switch program and some of the other programs for PG&E are still pending a funding decision for 2024 through 2027. So we'll see what happens in 2024, but come back and check our website in January to see what the status is for our offerings to customers. And that's it for me.
Great. Thank you so much, Aaron. And up next, we will hear from Amy at SCE.
Hi, good morning. I'm Amy Wong from Southern California Edison with our demand response program operations. So for today, I'll be briefly going over all of our demand response programs that your heat pump water heater customers can enroll in to qualify for the incentive. And next slide, please. So we have 6 primary programs that is eligible or that's available to both types of residential, commercial, and industrial customers, as well as agricultural. I'm just going to briefly go over briefly touch on the commercial and industrial ones because those are probably less of an option for the types of customers that you'll be working with, and just focus more on the 3 programs to the right-hand side of the matrix. So our summer discount plan and smart energy program are primarily kind of air conditioning focused programs. And as you can see, customers can earn up to $180 depending on the program in bill credits. So this is a direct credit on their bill, which is really helpful for customers who, have fluctuating bills, especially during the summertime when electricity usage is the highest and their bills correspond are also the highest. These are non-penalty programs, so they're not a quote unquote pay for performance. We either install a device or the customer registers their device, and they are managed, the devices are either managed by SCE or through a third party that we contract with. So right now, because I would say Smart Energy program is focused on smart thermostats, but As Aaron had noted, we're waiting for a decision in our next cycle of demand response funding. And we're looking to expand this program to other controllable end uses. So hopefully, once we get the approval from the CPUC, we could add heat pump water heaters to that mix. And then, as you heard from the third parties like OhmConnect, EnerSponse, and such, and CPower, we have third-party provider programs. So the participation in those programs are through the third-party providers. There's no relationship between the utility or SCE and the end-use customer. All of the incentives, requirements and such are determined by the aggregator that they participate through. And that's, I think, the last slide.
Yes, thank you so much, Amy, for that overview.
Sure.
Okay, and then next up we have Alexandra at Swell, who will go over another option that's available to some SCE or Southern California Edison customers.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Berenger, and I'm a senior program manager with Swell Energy. And we're one of those third-party providers that Amy just mentioned. So if you could go to the next slide, I'm going to briefly talk about 2 DR program options in the SCE territory. I'm with Swell, as I mentioned. We're a smart grid solutions provider, and we provide both homeowners and businesses with financing, specifically for solar panels or battery storage systems. We partner with local certified installers, and we administer grid services programs for utilities like SCE. And our programs include virtual power plants. So what is a virtual power plant? It's a network of energy devices that are distributed throughout homes or businesses. They can include batteries or solar panels, as I mentioned, electric vehicles, water heaters, smart plugs, and thermostats. And these devices can be networked together and called upon to provide energy to the home or business or to the utility's electric grid itself when the grid is constrained. For example, on really hot days when everyone's using their air conditioning. Virtual power plants can be beneficial because they increase the use of renewable energy and reduce the need for dependence on fossil fuels. So if you could go to the next slide. The 2 DR program options in the SCE territory differ primarily by geography. The first is called the Aliso Canyon Energy Storage Program, which arose out of the need for alternate non-gas energy resources due to the decommissioning of the Aliso Canyon gas storage facility. And customers in this program can be residential or commercial, but they're primarily residential right now. And they have to have battery storage systems or solar plus battery storage. And specifically, you can see in the purple region here, they have to receive electric service from one of 2 substations in the SCE territory. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Next slide. The other program I'm going to talk about is called the Second Preferred Resources Pilot. Similarly, SCE was required to procure preferred energy resources in the Irvine area in Orange County due to a decommissioning of a nuclear plant there. Again, eligible customers are shown in this red area. They have to get service from one of 2 substation circuits, and they also have to have battery storage systems or solar plus battery. And for both of these programs, there's a general program geographic territory map and a circuit map that Swell can provide to partners to help identify if a customer falls in those territories. Beyond the geographic qualification, the customers have to have 1 or more Tesla Powerwall batteries or solar panels plus 1 or more batteries. They have to have a smart electric meter. They must not be enrolled in or must be willing to unenroll from another demand response program if they're already enrolled. And if they have a generator, they can't use it for anything other than backup power, and they can't be on certain electric rates, which are shown here. Next slide. And then, like I said, right now, we only work with customers that have Tesla Powerwall batteries, but we're going to be expanding to other types of batteries in the future. And they can have 1 or more of those batteries. So next slide. Here's just some operational details. Basically, once the customer's enrolled, Swell controls the battery for a 4-hour period during 15 weekdays a month between 4 and 9 p.m. And that simply means that we instruct the battery to cover the home's energy needs instead of the home taking energy from the grid. And we always keep a reserve within that battery in case there's a grid outage, and we never operate the battery during outages. Next slide. The program provides incentives for both customers and partners depending on the program and whether they purchase a new battery system and then enroll in the program, or if they already have an existing system that they want to enroll. Customers can get both an upfront incentive and an annual incentive over time. And shown here are the incentives for customers who want to purchase or finance a new battery storage system. If you go to the next slide, this one shows incentives for customers who have an existing system that they want to enroll. And then finally, Swell offers contractors 2 opportunities to partner with us and receive incentives by referring customers. First, partners can refer customers who wish to purchase or finance a new battery or battery plus solar system and wish to enroll in the program. The incentive for the partner is $500 once the customer has a system and is enrolled in the program. If the customer already has an existing system and they just wish to enroll, the partner incentive is $250. Note that there is a big potential challenge here in that, as you can imagine, it can take several months if they're purchasing or financing a new system to get it permitted, installed, inspected, and then to receive that permission to operate from the utility. So it can take quite a long time to get through this process, especially for customers who are getting new systems. So if you're interested in learning more, you can find more information through this link. We provide partners with training and support, and we can set you up with specific landing pages for your customers. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Alex. Really interesting to learn about this unique program. All right, and then last but not least, we have one more presenter. So we will hear from Chris at SDG&E.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Like they said, my name is Chris Nansen. I'm the supervisor of the demand response programs for San Diego Gas and Electric. And while we have many demand response programs that might be of interest, I'd like to highlight one during this meeting that will provide your customers with a streamlined and straightforward experience to participate in DR programs. And many may already be enrolled. So this program is the FlexSaver Thermostat program. This program uses smart communicating thermostats to help reduce the strain on the grid during the DR season, which runs from April 1st to October 31st. And between April and October, events usually occur between 4 and 9 p.m. and usually last between 2 and 4 hours. During these events, the thermostat manufacturer will adjust the temperature of the thermostat between 1 and 4 degrees, and that helps reduce strain on the grid, helps reduce energy usage. This can be overridden at any time by the customer should they decide that they want to keep their home or business at their preferred temperature. And events can be called up to 20 times in a season with an additional 5 events for emergency situations. You can go to the next slide, please. All right. Customers who are enrolled in the program can receive a one-time payment of $50 per thermostat for enrolling in the program. And residential customers can enroll up to 2 devices into the program. Additionally, small commercial customers are also eligible and can enroll up to 4 devices. Once enrolled, the customers will receive a $20 bill credit provided that they remain enrolled through October 31st and the thermostat stays connected to Wi-Fi. You can go to the next slide. All right, let's cover who's eligible. Customers must have a smart thermostat from one of the smart thermostat manufacturers that I've listed here. That's Google, like a Nest, Ecobee, a Sensi, or the Honeywell Home, and not participating in a TOU Plus plan or with a third-party DR provider or another conflicting DR program. Residential and commercial customers are able to participate, as are bundled, direct access, and CCA customers. And finally, NEM customers are also able to participate. One thing to note is to qualify for the $50 enrollment is that customers must not have been enrolled in the program in the last 7.5 years. They would, however, still qualify for the $20 bill credit if they have received that first enrollment benefit within that last 7.5 years. You can go to the next slide. And as discussed previously, customers have full control over whether they participate or not. And many customers barely even notice that an event is going on if they miss the alert that they get. During an event, SDG&E sends a signal to the device manufacturers who adjust the thermostat settings, and customers can opt out of the event using their thermostat once the event starts and without penalty. We can go to the next slide. All right, finally, enrollment is extremely simple. So customers can enroll either at the link below that I've provided here or through their thermostat manufacturer's app. You can also always go to our website where we have a lot more information, and that's sdge.com/thermostat. Thanks again for letting me chat about this valuable program, and feel free to reach out to me or my team if you have any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. And to all of our presenters, I'm so impressed that we are done with 4 minutes to spare after hearing from 10 different demand response providers. That was excellent. I thank you all so much for joining us. It's a pretty special opportunity to have all of you in the room giving your program overviews all at once. And thank you so much to all of our participants for being here. I can guarantee that you're now some of the world premier experts on demand response. I know that was a lot of information, but again, this is recorded. It will be shared out as a resource. So will the slides, and our demand response website for customers and contractors list all of these programs that you just heard about with links to their websites and their enrollment and more information. So I'll pause for a moment. I see did we get any questions that we need to answer live in these last few minutes? Hearing nothing, I think we can wrap up. Give you all a couple minutes back in your day. Thank you so much for attending, and we really look forward to your participation in this program. Okay, take care, everyone.